We are back on the record. It's 1:01.
All right. So before we took a break, we were talking about some of the decisions that Sheriff Wheeler made that you disagreed with. I'm wondering if Sheriff Wheeler asked you to do something that you believed was unlawful or unconstitutional, what would you do?
Not do it.
Object to the form, calls for speculation, also calls for a legal conclusion, and it's a hypothetical. Go ahead.
And would you tell him, I'm not going to do it because X, Y, and Z?
I believe so. I don't believe I've ever been faced with that situation. So, yes, I believe I would. As much as we've disagreed on things that we've already talked about, and we have good dialogue back and forth, even though we have a difference of opinion.
Have you disagreed with a sheriff's decision or instruction to do something outside the context of the Facebook page in any other setting?
Object to the form, calls for speculation.
Can you say your question again?
Sure. Sort of outside of the context of the Facebook page, and have you disagreed with anything that the sheriff has asked or instructed you to do?
My current sheriff?
Yes.
Or
yes.
any sheriff? Oh, I can't think of anything specific. Yeah, I mean, that's all I mean, I can't think of anything specific. I'm sorry.
Aside from the terms of use for the Bonner County Sheriff's Office Facebook page, are you aware of any other Sheriff's Office policies regarding social media?
No, there's a county policy, but it's policy regarding social media and employees' use, not the sheriff's office use of a social media platform.
And within Bonner County, aside from the social media use policy for employees, are you aware of other policies that relate to social media?
I'm not.
I'm gonna pull up our first exhibit, which let's see. Wait 1 second. We'll come back to that. When you were monitoring the Facebook page and specifically the comments, how much time per day would you spend doing that?
It wasn't a daily thing, maybe a few hours during a week.
Okay. And when you were during those few hours, would you say it's like less than 10 hours or more than 10?
I would say less than 10. I don't recall a week that was that intensive.
Can you walk me through your process for monitoring? Like when you're like, okay, I need to check the Facebook page, what would you do?
Well, I have it on my computer, my desktop at work, and I have it on my phone away from the office. And it's simply looking at the post and then streaming down through the thread to see the number of comments and see what's being said, and then check back on ones that were posted previous to it, because people can continue to add them at any time. They can go back to a post at, say, 2017 and make a comment. So look back at some of the most recent posts to see what comments are coming up there.
Were you, would you say that you reviewed every single comment that was posted?
Absolutely not. I did not review every single comment posted on the site.
How did you determine what comments to review?
Like I said, the most recent post, I would look through that thread of comments and glance over them as, I went through them. If there was a comment on a post several posts ago, I may not know about that comment, or may not even go back to that post to look at it. It all depended.
Were there instances in which you were able to go back to old posts that had new comments and look at those?
I'm sure there were, yes.
Was there anything specific that would prompt you to review a new comment on an old post?
It's a new comment that hasn't been reviewed. That's the only thing prompting it.
Okay, but sometimes you would not review those new comments on old posts.
Correct.
Okay. Like, I'm trying to figure out if there was any factor or rationale for why some of the new comments on old posts would be reviewed and some of the new comments on old posts would not be reviewed.
Well, I think the biggest factor is the Facebook social media is far from my primary job. It's down the list, 10, 11 jobs. And as I would get to it, unless it was an incident that was time sensitive, then it would move to the top of the list. But most of the time, my stuff was as I found time to do it, monitor and post and those kind of things. But for the most part, it wasn't even one of my primary jobs. It was one of my jobs, but not even one of my primary jobs.
Okay, got it. So when you read through the comments on posts, what sort of things were you looking for? Or what was sort of like in your mind as you were reading through them?
Back to the form. You can answer if you can.
I believe I answered, but I'm looking for anything that could create leads for other departments, other parts of the agency, depending on what the specific post was related about. If it's a missing person, obviously I'm looking for leads to help locate that missing person. They may post, I saw that somebody looking like that at noon, but they don't call 911. Well, that's obviously a post that we probably want to follow up on. So it just depends on the content of the post.
And did you have any criteria in your mind about when you should hide a comment?
No, because, go ahead, Heather, sorry.
I objected.
I didn't have an opinion on hiding a comment or blocking a user, because it was nothing that was even in my scope of ability to do. I was simply creating posts, monitoring comments, creating content. Those were my primary functions.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that you would at times propose hiding a comment. You propose that to the sheriff or under sheriff. Am I stating that correctly?
Object to the form, mischaracterizes testimony.
There was discussion where I would initiate that conversation, but it was after previous things had already been hidden at the sheriff's direction. Nothing that I said, I didn't decide on my own to go, oh, we're going to start hiding comments and then propose it to the sheriff with no input. It was basically suggested the other way. And then, I followed through on what he asked me to do.
So, yeah, so I'm asking, I can also clear a question. After the sheriff sort of told you I'd like these comments to be hidden, it sounds like you had an idea of what the sheriff what comments the sheriff would want to be hidden moving forward.
Back to the form. You can answer if you understand the question.
Yeah, I'm not sure I do understand. I don't understand. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Let me ask this. Was there ever a time in which you saw a comment and sent it to the sheriff and asked, should we hide this comment?
I believe there was.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how would you identify that comment as to raise to the sheriff as potentially being needing to be hidden?
That it clearly violated the terms of use, and the sheriff had explained or had made decisions on past comments that were hidden, and it was very similar in nature.
Aside from a comment that you believed violated the terms of use, would there be any other criteria for identifying comments that should be hidden?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And you said that you incorporated past communications with Sheriff Wheeler into your thinking about whether or not a comment violated the terms of use. Am I stating that correctly?
Check to the form.
Yes, I did use our past conversations to kind of get a baseline from the sheriff of what he was looking for when he asked me to hide previous comments.
And what were the things he was looking for?
Violations of the terms of use. Things that were off topic, things that were personal attacks. The big one was the off topic, because if you're talking about, a car wash to benefit crime victims, and somebody starts talking about a murder, it's completely off topic. That would be something that if I saw it before the sheriff saw it, I would say, hey, I saw this comment. Is that something that you want me to hide? And he would direct me to do that.
Okay. So he provided some guidance to you about what he viewed to be off topic.
Expanding beyond the terms of use, we looked at them case by case as they were considered to be violating the terms of use, and then we addressed that specific comment. I don't know that he expanded on he didn't expand to me on what those additional rules were or anything like that.
Okay. I'm going to pull up an exhibit, and I just added it to our OneDrive folder. If you want to pull it up on your own, it's called Bonner County Sheriff's Office Facebook TOU, but I'll also share my screen. And sometimes it takes a minute to sync, so if you can't see it, just let me know.
And you're going to mark this as Exhibit 1?
Yes.
Can I bring it up as well?
Yeah,
I believe you have that one in the packet, so
Okay,
if you can read that, great. If not,
I can
she
see it on this.
email it to me.
Yeah, I can see it on the screen and I also have it on my computer if I need to refer to it.
okay. So, this is the about page of the Bonner County Sheriff's Office Facebook page, and I've just saved the terms of use as a PDF here. Does this, you recognize this terms of use as the one you sort of helped develop?
Yes, I recognize it.
Okay. And this bullet point list, oops, I can't really highlight, but this bullet point list of removable comment that starts at the bottom of page 1 and goes down to the top of page 2, you helped create that list?
Yes.
Are you aware of any modifications that have been made to the terms of use since it was first posted on the Facebook page?
I am not. I made no modifications to it. I don't know if anything was done.
Okay. This sentence that starts here, please note, this is a limited public forum and not an open public forum. Did you include that in the terms of use when you created a draft for the sheriff?
I believe I did.
And what is your understanding of the meaning of the term limited public forum?
I don't know. I think it's a legal definition that we consulted with the legal staff on versus a open public forum.
Did you include that sentence before it went to the legal staff?
Yes.
And at the time that you, and what was your reason for including that sentence?
Because that's what was provided in the model from the Pierce County Sheriff's Office.
And so you don't really have any understanding of what limited public forum means?
Not specifically, no.
You have a general understanding?
Well, it seems to me from in my general understanding that an open forum means it's a free for all and there's no rules. And a limited public forum says there's a set of rules limiting some things.
Okay. Where did you develop the understanding of what open public forum means?
From trying to answer your question about it. I mean, just experience of hearing people use that term and in the context that you're asking me about it today.
So you've heard people previously use the term open public forum?
Correct.
And in what setting?
As far as being out at a group where people can just talk openly about everything. I don't know specifically where I've heard the term.
Did you read either the term either limited public forum or open public forum or become familiar with them when you were at Kitsap County Sheriff's Office?
I don't recall.
Do you know if their social media policy or terms of use include either term limited public forum or open public forum?
I'm sorry, I answered that question. I'm unfamiliar with the terms of use at Kitsap County.
Okay. Did Sheriff Wheeler or the undersheriff ever use the term limited public forum or open public forum in a discussion with you?
Not that I recall.
Aside from the off topic rule, is there did you discuss any of the other types of removable comments with the sheriff in terms of generating an understanding for what a type of removable content category might mean?
Check to the form.
Not specifically, as I stated before, the comment would be any questionable comment. I would then have the discussion with the sheriff or undersheriff about. But there wasn't a conversation ahead of time giving examples of each of the violations of the terms of use.
Take that down. Do you understand the difference between hiding a comment and deleting a comment?
Yes.
What is your understanding of the difference?
Well, deleting a comment, it disappears. Hiding a comment makes it not viewable from public view. Both of the comments appear on the website or on the platform and are viewable to the public until they are hidden or deleted.
And once a comment is either hidden or deleted, are there any other differences that you're aware of?
I don't know, because the only we never deleted any. I never deleted any comments, and I'm unaware of any comments being deleted, so I don't know what the difference would be. I know with the hidden comments, I could view what comments were hidden, as opposed to my understanding, deleted. They're no longer accessible or viewable. But that's only my lay understanding.
And you said that you never deleted any comments, and to your knowledge, no comments were deleted from the Bonner County Sheriff's Office Facebook page.
Correct.
And was that a guidance or rule that the sheriff or undersheriff shared with you to not delete comments?
It's never been discussed.
How did you decide, or strike that? Did the sheriff or undersheriff tell you to just hide a comment and didn't give you an option to delete a comment?
Check to the form.
Deleting comments never been part of my conversations with the sheriff about any comments.
Okay. So he's only ever instructed you to hide a comment.
Well, he may have used different terms, but I never deleted any comments. I would hide comments if he wanted a comment. If he used the term deleted, the comment would be hidden. I didn't delete any comments.
Why did you not? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm just making sure I'm answering your question.
Yeah. Why did you not delete any comments?
Because we were I wanted to be able to see what was hidden versus deleting it and then having no record of what was there.
And what was the purpose for wanting to be able to go back and see what comments you had hidden?
Other than not making it disappear permanently, I think was the main reason.
And why didn't you want it to disappear permanently?
I don't know specifically. I mean, I didn't want them to not be available. I don't know what deleting comments on Facebook does. And I've never encountered anything within my experience that we as law enforcement should be, or government agency, deleting comments from a social media platform.
When you say you've never encountered anything in your experience, what are you? So could you clarify what you mean or explain what you mean when you say you've never experienced anything that would give you reason to delete a comment? Is that what you said?
It's never been part of any conversation, whether it's by the instructor for familiarization as far as deleting comments. It's never been part of a conversation that we would delete comments. So I don't know. It was never on my radar, I guess.
Okay, so it sounds like it just wasn't an option that you knew was available.
No, I knew it was available, but I thought I knew the difference. I knew what hiding did. It created a record which I could still see. And it had been posted on the website for all of the world to see as well, too, until it was hidden. So until a comment's hidden, people still get their voice. And the only thing that hiding it does is they don't get to keep repeating their voice for the next 100 years. They were heard initially until the comment was hidden. And that could be for a day or two. They just didn't get to have that comment repeated over the next 100 years on the website, on the platform.
Okay. Yeah, and you just wanted to, you hid the comments because you wanted to keep a record of the comments for an unspecified reason, or you don't have a reason for wanting to keep that record?
I hid the comments because I was instructed to hide the comments because it violated their terms of use. What the permanent storage of those or record that's being created wasn't a focus of my hiding of comments.
You mentioned that Sheriff Wheeler would ask you to delete a comment. Did he use the term delete?
Well, I don't know that he specifically did, but I want to throw that out to you because if somebody says remove a comment, do they mean delete it? Do they mean hide it? What I wanted to clarify with you is my understanding from the sheriff was when he asked me to do one of those things to a comment, remove it from public view, I hid those comments.
Okay. Did you ever discuss with him the difference between hiding and deleting comments?
Not specifically, no.
Did you have a general discussion with him about it?
I don't believe so. Other than probably making fun of him for using the wrong word. Like I use the wrong word on something. It's like, oh, wait a minute, that's the wrong word. I didn't want to use it, I mean, other than stuff like that. So it's just, I understood what I was being asked to do. And even though a different word may have been used.
Are you aware that when a comment is hidden, the Facebook users, Facebook friends can still see the comment?
I don't know what the analytics are of Facebook for publicizing that after it's hidden. I don't know.
Okay, so that wasn't something that you're aware of.
I don't know. It's nothing that I have even thought about in relation to what we're talking about here.
Okay. But so your understanding is the comment is simply not viewable on the Facebook page, although a record remains of the comment.
Check to the form.
I'm sorry, can you ask your question again, please?
Sure. So your understanding of what hiding a comment means is that it's not viewable on the Facebook page. So for example, when you hide a comment on the Bonner County Sheriff's Office Facebook page, it's no longer viewable on that page,
Correct.
but you're not sure what other functionality or who else can see it in a different view.
I am unaware if how it's viewable after that outside of the Facebook page that was hidden from.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that when you blocked Mr. Leighty from the Bonner County Sheriff's Office Facebook page, it was for multiple violations of the terms of use. Is that right?
Yes.
Is there any other reason?
No.
What is your or strike that? And you said that you've never blocked anyone else from the Bonner County Sheriff's Office Facebook page.
Correct.
Are you aware of any other Facebook users who have been blocked from the page?
Only from creating the discovery for this case. There were 2 other people listed who I'm not familiar with that were blocked users. And of course, I didn't have access to any of their information to know when it happened or how it happened, other than the user, was blocked.
After discovering that, did you have any conversations with Sheriff Wheeler about those other 2 blocked users?
Yes, I don't know if I initiated the conversation or he did. But when I was asked to unblock Mr. Leighty, when I found the other 2 that were blocked as well, those were brought up in discussion and those were unblocked as well.
What was discussed about those 2 other users?
I don't remember the content. I just provided the name of the users and asked if he wanted those unblocked as well.
Did Sheriff Wheeler or the undersheriff articulate to you any criteria aside from multiple violations of the terms of use that would qualify someone for being blocked from the Bonner County Sheriff's Office Facebook page?
Check to the form.
No.
Okay, bear with me for a second. I'm going to try to pull up another exhibit.
You're much better at technology than me, so go ahead. Do you have a title for it so I can bring it up here as well?
Sure, it's the first one in the list. It's emails from Jon VanGesen dated March 8th.
Okay.
And this will be exhibit 2. All right. You have it up?
I do.
Okay. So this is an email from you to the undersheriff, is that right? on March 8th. And it has an attachment which follows. And it looks like these are several posts in which Mr. Leighty's comments have been hidden. Am I right in interpreting that a hidden comment is grayed out?
Yes, that's my understanding as well.
Okay. And what was the context of you sending this email to Under Sheriff Lakewell? Did he request it?
Yes, I was asked to produce all the records for the Facebook page. And that's my method of, I printed them out and then I scanned them and then I emailed them to the undersheriff.
Okay.
There's probably a simpler way to do it within Facebook, but I'm not aware of that. So I did the long version.
Okay. So it looks like this starts on November 14th. I'm gonna scroll really quickly, hopefully. So duplicate, it looks like. So it looks like this is just one post from November 14th. You know what would have prompted you just sending the one post?
Check to the form.
Yeah, I don't know specifically. The only time I downloaded or printed out stuff from the Facebook page, PDF'd it and sent it to the undersheriff was as a result of the legal action in this case. So
Okay.
I don't know what prompted it, whether they received the notice of the lawsuit or what, but I don't recall.
Okay. Can close that one.
Can I ask you a question, Mika?
Sure.
Is that the one email that included the confidential documents in another lawsuit?
So that,
Where there was an attachment with a Google Drive with confidential and documents in another case?
yeah, I can pull up the exhibit again and we can take a look.
It should not include those, Lieutenant.
Because I see the Google Drive on page.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, so there's a link to a Google Drive folder.
This may have been at the request of the undersheriff or sheriff because of that Google Drive document that was attached.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that became a concern about the material being posted. So it may have been outside the lawsuit. And prior to that, I don't know. So that's why it may be separate, but I just trying to give some clarification on that.
Yeah. You said that the Google Drive document became a concern. What is your understanding of the concern?
Well, from what I understand, and I don't know if it was this document or another one that Mr. Leighty posted, but my understanding was it was a confidential document in another case, and it was posted on our Facebook page, and there was some conversation that I wasn't a part of that there was concerns about us providing the public access to that document. I don't know the context, or I don't know the whole parameters of it, but that's my basic understanding of maybe this Google Drive document or another one that was attached.
Okay. How did you, or who brought the confidential nature of the Google document to your attention?
It was either the undersheriff or sheriff.
And did they say, please take the comment down, or?
No, this is one of the ones that I was asked to hide because
Okay.
of that document being on there. Yeah, because of the document being on there.
Okay. Did they ask it? So you can see that there are other grayed out comments here, so I assume that these have also been hidden. Did the sheriff or undersheriff ask you to hide these other comments as well?
I don't recall. And I'm not sure if the way Facebook's set up, if I hide a comment within a thread, what it does with those other comments within that thread. I don't know if that's a result of that or what specifically, or if those are ones that were filtered by Facebook. I noticed some of those on the ones that were provided by Heather last week, that it's like, no wonder that was filtered. It's got all this foul language. Well, I didn't hide it because Facebook hid it.
With respect to this Google Doc, you said either the undersheriff or sheriff asked you to hide it. You don't remember which it was.
I don't.
How often would the undersheriff make requests to hide comments?
It was very rarely, if at all, because the sheriff was usually available.
Okay.
And would respond or initiate that. I don't know specifically that the undersheriff instructed me to hide any comments.
Okay, so the exhibit 2 we're just looking at with the Google Doc, that was probably the sheriff that asked you to hide that comment.
Yes, because you have to realize that a lot of our conversations are not one A and B. They're A, B, C. They're 2 or 3 of us talking, but it's the sheriff that, says this is what we're going to do.
Pull up another exhibit here. Okay, so we'll pull up various texts from our Lakewold. Share my screen. This can be exhibit 3. Do you see that it's like a photo of a text message?
Yes.
Is this a text that you received from Undersheriff Lakewold?
I don't know if it was one from the undersheriff. Obviously, he was part of it, but I don't know if it was a group text between myself and the sheriff and undersheriff, which is my most, well, yeah, some of the times it's just the sheriff and I back and forth, and sometimes it's the 3 of us. So I don't know if it was just him or all 3 of us.
And okay. Am I accurate in sort of interpreting that the text that starts with "confirm no longer blocked," that's written by you?
No, that's not written by me.
Okay. Do you know who that would have been written by?
I believe the sheriff sent me that message.
Which one?
Confirm no longer blocked.
Sorry. So let's, the first bubble that says, can you check and confirm that Leighty is no longer blocked? Do you think the sheriff sent you that text message?
Yes, and I would be the other part of the conversation. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
When you don't have the name attached on the screen and the
Yeah,
numbers.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. It's a little confusing because this document was produced to us with the title texts from our Lake Wold. And so I'm trying to figure out if this is your phone, the text that you received, or perhaps it's Sheriff Wheeler who received the texts.
My
Do you have
texts
any-
were provided separately and they're on a different background
Okay,
and they're titled VanGesen's texts
okay.
with redactions on related material.
Okay. Do you know if on page 2, this bubble that starts with told to unblock him, he is still blocked? Do you want me to unblock him tomorrow? Do you know if you wrote that text?
I believe so.
Okay. But you're not sure, and then the next bubble says, yes, please unblock him, thanks. Do you know whether that would have been from the sheriff or under sheriff?
I don't without referring to my own text,
Okay,
because my own texts are going to have the identification of the writer, whereas this is somebody else's phone and doesn't have the identification of the texters.
okay. Can close that. Let's go ahead and pull up, this will be exhibit 4. It's pages from various Facebook posts, and then the suffix is November 15th, 2022. Able to see that?
I am.
Okay. So we've got a Facebook post here, and then it appears that Mr. Leighty commented and that his comment was hidden. Why was this comment hidden?
I don't know.
Why don't you take a moment to read it? Let me know when you've done so.
Okay.
Having read the comment now and knowing that it was hidden, can you provide sort of an explanation as to why you think the comment was hidden?
Probably because it was off topic and an
Okay.
attack of the sheriff.
Anything else?
Not specifically.
And you don't remember hiding this comment, is that right?
No, not specifically, no.
Take that one down. Let's go to the it's the same title except for the suffix is April 2022. I think this is exhibit 5. So this is a Facebook post from April 21st, 2022. And scrolling down, we see several comments that are hidden by different users, including Mr. Leighty. With respect to the two comments from Mr. Leighty at the bottom of the second page of the document, why were these comments hidden?
I can't speculate as why the sheriff said to hide the comments, other than they were hidden for violating the terms of use.
Okay. Do you take a moment to read these two comments? Let me know when you're done.
Okay.
Do you have any explanation as to why these violated the terms of use?
Well, I see that they're off topic. This is about a forensic file cold case that was solved, and the content has nothing to do with those.
Okay.
But I can't speculate as to why the sheriff decided that those need to be hidden.
So you're sort of interpreting that you think the comments violate the terms of use now, but you don't know why the sheriff wanted them to be hidden.
Asked and answered.
Right. I can't speculate as his decision-making in any of the comments that he asked me to hide.
Okay. Do you see that these comments are replying to a comment that was left sort of made by the official page account?
Yes,
Okay.
that was posted by me.
And so in light of that, you still believe that these comments violate the terms of use for being off topic?
Right. The post is about people continuing to violate the terms of use. It was basically another emphasis that, unfortunately, we're trying to make this resource available to the community, but people continue to do things that jeopardize everybody's use of the page. And now no one is able to comment and interact with the sheriff's office because unfortunately comments have been turned off completely.
Okay, so you said that as a result of people violating the terms of use, comments have been turned off completely. Did I get that right?
No.
Okay.
The
Would you mind restating it for me?
Yeah, the post that I made on that comment I made on that post was as a result of multiple people violating the terms of use, and basically another warning out there that we want the public to be able to use this site to communicate with us and to comment and to be involved in the sheriff's office Facebook page. But if we continue to have people that violated the terms of use, that eventually the comments would be turned off like they are today, and nobody can interact with us now. They can only react or read. They cannot participate other than that.
And so my interpretation of what you're saying is, because people in your view continued to violate the terms of use, that the consequence of that is that comments were disabled altogether.
Correct, and as an agreement in this case as well. But ultimately, we don't want to monitor comments anymore. We don't want to have to determine what's right, what's wrong, what should be on there, what shouldn't be on there. We've got law enforcement functions to do. And as opposed to having to monitor a Facebook page and comments, the sheriff agreed, and yeah, there are no comments allowed on our site anymore.
Can you explain to me what you mean by sort of determining what is right versus what is wrong?
If it violated the terms of use.
Okay.
This is not a personal opinion page. This is a sheriff's office page providing information to the public. And we used it to try to get information from the public until it was abused to the point where comments are not available for the public to place anymore.
I'm gonna scroll down. Okay. So at the top of page 3 of the document, Mr. Leighty is replying to a comment from Calvin Glass Collins, and this Mr. Leighty's reply was hidden. Collins's comment was not. Can you explain why Mr. Leighty's reply comment was hidden?
No, I do not know. And I don't know why Crystal Nornberg's was hidden either.
As you sit here today, do you have any idea?
I do not.
And at the bottom of page 3, again, Mr. Leighty is replying to a comment by Mr. Brian King. Do you have any explanation for why Mr. Leighty's reply comment was hidden? And you can take your time to read.
Just reviewing it today, it appears to be off topic.
Any other reason?
Nothing specific, no.
And then at the page 4, Mr. Leighty replied to Kevin Daly. That comment was hidden. And then there's another comment by Mr. Leighty underneath that was hidden. For either of those 2 comments, do you know why they were hidden?
No, I don't know specifically. They just appear to violate the terms of use, including off topic.
Other than off topic, is there any other violation of the terms of use?
I don't know.
Do you think Kevin, let's see, let's go back up. Do you think Brian King's comment is on topic?
What's the original post again? Is it the forensic files episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
Can you pull down to the
Yeah.
Can you scroll down to the comments? This is the teacher saying that Wheeler's actions in the last 2 years, great, looking forward to meeting him.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't have an opinion whether that's off topic, on topic. It's just a statement about his high school kids having Sheriff Wheeler come in and talk to them.
Okay.
Or
Would you-
I assume high school kids.
Would you agree that this doesn't relate to forensic files?
Check to the form.
I would only that it doesn't directly speak to the forensic files post. It's, yeah, I mean, but the other thing is it's still, they're talking about the CEO of an organization that is featured in this article about saving this very complex homicide. So, and coming in to talk to their class. So I don't think there's anything necessarily that violates the terms of use.
Okay. Take that down. When you were generally in your experience of monitoring the Facebook page comments when they were enabled, would your staff or any of the officers, come up to you and say, "Hey, did you see this comment?" Would they react to Facebook comments in any way in your interactions with them?
Check to the form.
I don't know. There was just general conversation about Facebook stories and ideas. I don't specifically recall comments being discussed or a comment being, I don't know what the word was, violating the terms of use or whatever. I don't recall any conversation like that with deputies.
Would members of the public ever contact the you or generally the Bonner County Sheriff's Office about comments on the Facebook page?
Outside of the Facebook page, not that I'm aware of, but on the Facebook page, yes, they call out people and comments.
And they would bring it to try to get the sheriff's office attention, or just call out people, meaning like tagging them in comments or something like that?
I don't know what their motive was, but they would definitely, like I kind of described earlier, whereas if you have somebody that is participating in our forum, Facebook, and commenting and not appropriate or being whatever it is that's not appropriate, those folks have a tendency, there are people that have a tendency to kind of fight back on that and say, knock that off, take that somewhere else, or your comment's not appropriate, or just those kind of things, just a generalization as I'm speaking, to do that.
And aside from that, would any member of the public contact you all directly, maybe in like I think people can direct message you probably, or direct message the Bonner County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. Would anyone contact the page directly and say, "Hey, this comment posted by this person on this date, please look at it," or something like that?
Check to the form.
I'm sorry. I don't recall any specific messages related to the content or comments by the public.
Okay.
Other than like shutting off the comments and, they're allowing comments now, they're not allowing comments now, but that's obviously not on our forum anymore. It's on other forums where people are upset that we no longer allow comments.
Did anyone contact, I guess, did people contact you on other forums to complain about?
No.
Okay.
They've been observed on other forums, but not directly to us saying this, that I'm aware of. Nothing that's been brought to my attention.
Okay. We've been going for about another hour. Why don't we take a 10-minute break and we'll resume at 2:15? Does that sound okay?
It's fine.
We're going off the record. It's 2:05.
Thank you.